Weatherscope.
North Carolina. We're a couple of Tar Heels.
Yeah, right. All right. Now, it's wet in Pennsylvania tonight. Maybe a little bit of ice or sleet a little bit farther to the northeast. That's just what's going on in the east. In the west, we got another problem that may have to be dealt with.
It's kind of quiet right now. Western California getting hit with a little rain, but there's more yet to come.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start off where, not in the east, not in the west, in the Midwest.
All right.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa. This is the storm that's headed to New York City right now, Jeff. It put down about 3 inches of wet snow here today. Snow blowers, good up. Where's that? Go ahead.
Isn't this your sister's hometown?
This is my sister's hometown, right? We were all born in different towns. I was in Raleigh and my sister in Cedar Rapids. We've got some slush and fog tonight. Now here in New Orleans, fortunately, the temperature warmed to the 70s, 78 degrees at the Louisiana Nature Center. But it was a stormy day. Folks needed their umbrellas out here at Tulane University and rain slickers, but you can tell how warm it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, give me one of those warm rain showers. Oh, now you're talking. This is mostly a wet storm. As you can see, the snow has now moved into Canada. To the north and west of the track of this low, and this low kind of came out just like this. Just to the north of Chicago, that's where the snow was. To the south and east of that track, it's all been rain because, well, the south and east of the storm, warm air is being drug up. At least that's how we say it in North Carolina. This is all rain here from Florida all the way up into New York State, but there are going to be some problems in northern New York State and parts of New England. I want to show you something. Look what's going on down here in the Gulf of Mexico. Look at that. Even though it's out of radar range, we still pick up the lightning that is heading toward Tampa. There's a special marine warning out now as these thunderstorms head closer to town, and there's more out of radar range. Notice the radar from Tampa. There'd be a circle that would cover this area, the radius. There's another little radius, and there's another radius perhaps from Panama City radar. But there's plenty more out here, and that's going to move in on central Florida. So if you made it in tonight, Tampa, you didn't need the umbrella, you just made it. Up 95 towards Savannah, we've got some rain. The rain that blew through Atlanta is drying up even before it hits Macon here tonight. Augusta just cloudy. Watch out for the fog on Interstate 20. And here we are in North Carolina. It is raining tonight from Boone all the way to Raleigh and Elizabeth City. Rain now moving in on Norfolk and Richmond. And here in the northeast, well, as you can see, some light rain has moved through the Philadelphia metropolitan area. And a few sprinkles headed into New York City right now, Parsippany, New Jersey. with some light rain. This is all rain too, Elmira, New York. But further north, the air is a little bit drier and a little colder. Right now in Darien, Connecticut, 28 degrees. So as some of this moisture overruns it, there's going to be some light sleet or freezing rain. That'll change over to rain here in Connecticut, but up 87 from Albany northward, there could be some ice on bridges and overpasses. Same story here from the Berkshires all the way up to the Canadian border. Watch out for that. And the snow is almost over here, just some light snow in northern lower Michigan and parts of Wisconsin, where we had 4 or 5 inches of snow. Madison, Wisconsin, at 33 degrees right now. You know, in this state back in 1990 in Madison, 17 inches of snow fell. That's an all-time record for 24-hour snow here. But it's gone. Low pressure is moving out. Then for more stormy weather, we head to the Midwest and far west. Jeff?
That's right, Dave. Most of the West, really today, at least in the Rockies, it was a great day to head out and maybe do some skiing, get some chores done. Southwest looking good. It's all going to be changing. It started changing today around San Francisco, where the rain was light for the most part, but it was enough to get the umbrellas out, about 1/4 of an inch up in Marin County, 1/10 or 2 around Mission Dolores and the rest of San Francisco and Oakland. The Bay Bridge maybe a little bit slick tonight. San Jose got a little bit of rain. But again, this is very light rain, and this is just the preliminaries, folks. And we think it's going to be coming down a little bit harder over the next day or two as a big storm off the west coast starts to move on in. Here's the current radar on the west coast. This is a close-up of the central California region. San Francisco, maybe a few more brief showers moving through the Golden Gate and on over to Oakland, on up to the Napa Valley. Stockton getting a little bit of light rain, as well as Merced. There's a bigger picture, and again, Fresno, if any of this is reaching the ground, it's very, very light, as is most of this precipitation, but enough to maybe slow you down on the highways just a bit. But again, this is just the first little impulse, which is actually rotating around the main low. You can kind of see some of the high to mid-level clouds well offshore here, but that's all going to rotate right on into the west coast, probably sometime Thursday night into Friday. Meanwhile, in the upper Midwest, very slow-moving, we can't really call this a clipper, kind of a plotter, if you will. And as it is doing so, it is going to put down some light snow. But the main feature here, the main result of this system is a dragging down of some more cold Canadian air. And this is really going to make it feel kind of blustery and cold across much of the northern plains and eventually points east as we head to the next couple of days. There's our big storm out to the west. Boy, I bet you El Nino might have something to do with that. Let's talk more about El Nino now with Dave.
Jeff, it's time now for an El Nino focus. It's the ocean and atmosphere working together that make El Nino a force for climatic change. Jim Cantore explains.
In normal non-El Nino years, the surface of the Pacific Ocean along the coast of South America is cool, about 8 degrees cooler than the surface in the western Pacific. That's because of the trade winds. The prevailing trade winds in this part of the world are from east to west, and those winds push the ocean's surface along with them. That piles warm water up in the western Pacific. Sea level is about 1.5 feet higher near Indonesia than at Ecuador. And because the surface water is moved west, the cold water from deeper levels rises toward the surface off South America, sometimes to within 50 meters. That's called upwelling, and it's responsible for the cold surface temperatures. But in an El Nino, the trade winds diminish, and in some cases actually reverse. Without the trade winds, upwelling diminishes. The cold water from the depths remains far below the surface, and the surface warms. So it is this relationship between the wind and the ocean that causes the changes we know as El Nino. I'm Jim Cantore, the Weather Channel.
Join us again for El Nino Focus tomorrow. Here's the forecast for Thursday with Jeff.
Yeah, this is the Reader's Digest version. We're going to condense this one. A little bit of rain in the colder inland valleys, a little bit of sleet and ice to start your day, and then it's gone pretty much by the afternoon. Some lingering light sleet or snow in northern and central New England, but again, a nuisance more than a big storm. Colder air starts to flood in across much of the Great Lakes, at least the western Great Lakes, and that'll lead to some lake effect snows as we head on into the weekend. The heaviest now appears to be headed toward Florida. There's our snow around the Great Lakes in the upper Midwest and northern New England. Your overnight lows and afternoon highs. Can't find a lot of warm air on that map, Dave.
You think that's cold? Wait till the weekend.
That's right.
Hot spots. Then the weekend.